When I listen over the years about anything having to do with water and the problem with enough water, I notice that it's often the farmers first that are told you can't do this anymore, you can't do that anymore. I remember almond farmers in California and other things as well. But you hardly hear about golf courses or swimming pools or any luxury thing that is nice to have but not necessary, while farmers, every farmer, grows food in one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Maria, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Before we get to that, we'll kind of do it as a package here. Bob is joining us from Port Coquitlam. Bob, what's your situation with water?
Well, I'm trying to save water, and I think everyone we can do our bit to save water. Just a few quick suggestions. For instance, instead of washing the driveway with a hose, sweeping it, much quicker, much easier, and doesn't use any water. Mm-hmm. Instead of washing your car with a hose, wait for it to rain. Use the rainwater to wash your car. And peeing in men, just pee in a tub. You don't have to flush, only once a day, maybe.
Uh-huh.
And you know the saying, when it's yellow, let it mellow. When it's brown, toss it down. Women, let it mellow. 2 or 3 peas, and then you can flush it possibly. But all those few things. And when you wash your vegetables and stuff in the sink, use a tub so the water pours and you can save it. Use that water for watering your plants. There's so many things we can do as individuals to limit our water use and therefore have a lot more water in the hot summers when we need it.
Mm-hmm. Bob, I appreciate the call. Maria, I want to ask you, first of all, what do you make of the suggestion? Some different ideas there, right? We've got a small-scale farmer who's upset about swimming pools and golf courses, and then Bob with his practical bathroom tips. Yeah, go ahead, Kat.
Oh, I was just going to say, I do let it mellow, so that's good. So that was a good tip, and I agree with that one. But just to say, I think one of the things that we really need to look at, and we haven't been addressing, is the harmonization of the various ministries. So we get inundated with calls of people who are very concerned about the clear cutting happening in their watersheds, which are already fragile, and the soil is drying, and there's all sorts of problems with small local watersheds. So the harmonizing of various ministries and using water as the common denominator, I think, is essential. And our land use practices are not aligned with our understanding of the need to switch paradigms and move into the 21st century to address the climate crisis. So we're still having old policies in place with old AAC's annual allowable cuts that really are doing a disservice to our watershed security thinking. So that would be something that I would absolutely recommend, because right now we have very much multi-jurisdictional gridlocks, and we don't really have the vertical integration that's needed from the federal government to the province to local government and First Nations governments at the local level, where the impact of water shortages are felt. They're felt at the local level. So these regional tables would be essential to start addressing the problems at the local scale and leveraging all of the expertise at the local level.